A 62-year-old businessman has been arrested on suspicion of the murder of Annie McCarrick. The 26-year-old American woman went missing in 1993. Gardaí are also searching a house in Clondalkin in Dublin as part of the investigation.
Forensic specialists arrived and Gardaí moved heavy equipment into a house in Clondalkin this morning to take part in a search for evidence in the investigation into the murder of Annie McCarrick. The home has been sealed off. A temporary restricted airspace has been put in place to prohibit flyovers from drones or other aircraft while the search is going on. Gardaí say the current residents are not connected in any way with Annie McCarrick or her disappearance. Annie McCarrick went missing in Dublin over 32 years ago. The 26-year-old American woman had been due to have dinner with friends at her apartment in Sandymount that weekend, but they became concerned when they hadn't heard from her. She hadn't turned up for work and wasn't at home. Her last confirmed activity was just after 11 o'clock on Friday morning, the 26th of March 1993, when she bought groceries, which were discovered unpacked in her home 2 days later. Her friend reported Annie McCarrick missing that Sunday evening, the 28th of March 1993. Annie McCarrick's family later told the Gardaí that they believed she had been having trouble with the man who struck her before she went missing. This morning, detectives from the Serious Crime Unit in Irishtown arrested a man in his 60s on suspicion of the murder of Annie McCarrick. He is being detained at a Garda station under Section 4 of the Criminal Justice Act and can be questioned for up to 24 hours. The Clondalkin house and garden, which is over 100 feet long, are now being searched by the Dublin South Central Divisional Search Team, supported by the Garda National Technical Bureau, with support from other state and external expertise if required. The Gardaí say they have informed Annie McCarrick's family of today's developments and will continue to keep them updated in relation to the murder investigation. The 26-year-old visited Ireland as a child and loved it so much she came to live here. Her disappearance was upgraded to a murder investigation 2 years ago, and Gardaí again today renewed their appeal for anyone with information on the case to contact them.
Well, the case of Annie McCarrick has remained a mystery for more than 3 decades. Maggie Doyle has been looking at the investigation, which was upgraded to murder just 2 years ago.
This is the last confirmed sighting of Annie McCarrick. The 26-year-old was captured on CCTV shortly before 11 a.m. at the AIB Bank on Sandymount Road. She was living in St Catherine's Court, Sandymount, Dublin 4, with 2 other tenants. And she was working as a waitress at the Courtyard restaurant in Donnybrook and Café Java on Leeson Street. On Thursday, 25th of March, Ms McCarrick had called to the cafe to collect her wages, but they weren't ready, so she arranged to call in again the following day to collect them. She then visited friends and stayed for dinner. On Friday, 26th of March, Ms McCarrick spoke to both her flatmates before they left separately to travel home for the weekend. She made arrangements with friends, inviting them to her apartment for dinner the following day. And she was excitedly planning for a visit by her mother, who was due to arrive a few days later. The last confirmed activity by Annie McCarrick was grocery shopping. She bought items in Quinsworth on Sandymount Road, which were later found unpacked in her apartment. She wasn't at home when her friends arrived for dinner on the Saturday, and she was subsequently reported missing on Sunday, 28th of March at Irishtown Garda station. There were reported sightings of Annie boarding a number 44 bus bound for Enniskerry and a number of further reported sightings in that area. The only child of Nancy and John McCarrick, her parents tried in vain to find her. Her father took part in searches in Enniskerry and the area around Johnny Fox's pub.
I'm emotionally drained, but we've got to keep looking and got to keep hoping. That's all all we can do. That's what I think a father and mother have to do, We won't give up hope.
John McCarrick passed away in 2009. 2 years ago, after Annie's case was upgraded to murder, her mother Nancy said she just wanted to bring her daughter back home.
Whatever did befall her, it may have been accidental. So I would just love to be able to find her. Yeah.
32 years on from her disappearance, today's arrest is the first in the Annie McCarrick case. Maggie Doyle, RTE News.
Well, our crime correspondent Paul Reynolds joins us now from the scene of that search in Clondalkin. Paul, can you tell us what led Gardaí up to this point in their investigation?
Well, Sharon, the Gardaí have had increased powers since this was upgraded to a murder inquiry 2 years ago. And as part of the process, they have been re-interviewing witnesses, they've been reviewing statements, and they've been analysing and gathering new information and intelligence. And they say there doesn't seem to have been any major breakthrough at this stage, but it's as part of this process that a decision was made to make the first arrest in this investigation and arrest this man. Now, he's 62 years of age. He's a businessman. He lives in County Meath. The Gardaí arrested him this morning. His home in County Meath was searched as part of the investigation. He was taken into custody where he's still being detained. His period of detention was extended for a further six hours this afternoon by a Garda superintendent, and he's being interviewed by teams of detectives at a Garda station. Now, he can be held for a total of 24 hours, and a decision will be made later this evening to extend that period of detention for a further and final 12 hours. Annie McCarrick was 26 years of age when she disappeared. The suspect in custody was 30 years of age at the time. He did know Annie McCarrick. Gardaí have described him as one of her associates, part of a circle of associates, people who knew her. Now, the search at this house in Clondalkin has wound down for the evening. It's quite an invasive search. There's heavy machinery been brought in. A Kango hammer is being used, we think, on concrete and on a patio or inside the house. So obviously floors are being dug up. This is quite an invasive search. It appears to have been called off for the night, but it will resume tomorrow.
Crime correspondent Paul